The following matchup is being played with History Maker Baseball Express, a fast-playing baseball simulation board game, a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2022, all rights reserved. Welcome to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, man oh man, have we got a good matchup for you on hand as we are going to present the latest edition of Cross Era Showdown as we wrap up our first of 4 weeks of Rivalry Week here for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Rivalry Week weekend may be coming up tomorrow, it's coming up like today, I should say. But we are going to be featuring another crosstown rival in the Miami Marlins and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, as these two teams will go at it, as it will be a surprise playoff team in the 2023 Miami Marlins as they take on the early expansion struggles of the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out because game one is coming up next. But first, let's have a look and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of Cross Era Showdown as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce and load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who has responsible as a treat. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection. Left the store. And by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. with unlimited text and messaging those hours, of course. So why overpay for services you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless. And we're just about set and ready to go for game one of this episode of Cross Era Showdown between the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the 2023 Miami Marlins. That is, as it is a surprise playoff team versus early expansion struggles. Here on this episode for Cross Era Showdown. Here's your pitching matchup for Game 1 as Sandy Alcantara will be on the mound as he is finishing up his warm-up tosses for Miami. And he will be opposed by Ronaldo Araujo for Tampa Bay as Alcantara has the flash and control quality, while Araujo has the semi-star, full flash, and semi-control quality. And again, the pawns are being notated by who the current batter is. And without further delay, Sandy Alcantara is ready to go, and so is Randy Wynn. Let's get started from Lone Depot Park in Miami for this episode of Cross Era Showdown. We'll begin with a 5-5-6. And it reads 5-5-6. Here we are. Star pitcher on Alcantara. He's not a star. Is Randy Wynn a hero batter? He's a semi-hero. The decider die says, nah, he's not. So therefore, that's going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Randy Wynn does not have home run king. Neither does he have slugger. So therefore, that is going to be a no-runs result of a 5 blank, and that is going to do it for the top half of the first here at Lone Depot Park. The Rays, nothing, and the Marlins are coming to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. One, two, three. Workman or struggler on Araujo? No. Champ on Soler. He's not a champ, so therefore that's going to be a no-runs result of a 3 blank, and that is going to do it for the first inning of play here at Lone Depot Park in Miami. Your score after 1 inning of play is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays nothing and the Marlins nothing. One, two, three. Is Alcantara a workman or struggler pitcher? He's not. Champ on McCracken. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be another no-runs result of a 3 dot, and that is going to do it for the top half of the second. We go to the bottom half with no score. Two, four, six. Let's see. Here we are. Star pitching on Araujo. He's a semi-star. However, the decider die says he's not. Is there a champion batter for Luis Arraez? Yes, there is, but it's semi. So let's see here. The decider die says Arraez is not a champion. So therefore, that's going to be a no-runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. And it looks like Arraez does not have home run king or slugger qualities. So therefore, that is going to be a no-runs result of a 2 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 2 innings of play. So far, both teams are sizing up one another here in the first game of this Cross Era Showdown series between the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Miami Marlins as we go to the third with no score. Triple five. So this is going to be an experience check. And I got the charts right here. We'll roll the black die, aka the white number. And we have a 2. Prospect batter. Wade Boggs is not a prospect. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. And we'll roll the the black die again for this. We have a 5, and that is going to get us runners on second and third. And man, oh man, the Marlins have runners in scoring position, the Devil Rays, I should say, have runners in scoring position for Fred McGriff off the men on base chart. 26, home run king, it's home run. Fred McGriff is not a home run king, so therefore it's going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for this. We have a 2, sad sack on McGriff. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be allowing the Tampa Bay Devil Rays to get the first runs of the ball game here in the third inning. Your score after 2.5 innings of play is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins nothing. $366. That is going to read 366. Here we are. Workman pitcher on Araujo. He is not a workman. Utility on Josh Bell. He's not a utility man. So therefore, that is going to be an RBI question mark check. And unfortunately, the black die is a 6, but the decider die is not behaving this time. So therefore, it'll be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 3 innings of play here for game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown between the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Miami Marlins, where the Devil Rays lead it 1-0 over their crosstown rivals in the Miami Marlins. We have, triple three. So this is going to be another experience check. Oh my goodness. 2 experience checks. All right, here we go. White die again. Or excuse me, the black die again. We have a 4. Prospect pitcher. So Miami is in the field. It looks like Alcantara is not a prospect pitcher, so therefore that is going to be a no runs result, and we'll use the original result, which was a 3, and we will keep the decider die roll, which was a dot, and that is going to do it for the top half of the 4th. Your score after 3.5 innings of play here in game 1 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. It's the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins nothing. $145. Ace or dynamic on Araujo. He is not. 145. Satsack on Chisholm. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. And again, Araujo does have flash. So therefore, that 4 will be reduced to a 3. And we will definitely put the runners safely on at first and second for Jake Berger off the men on base chart. With a 26, Jake Berger, we ask, are you a home run king? Oh, you're not. So therefore, that's going to be a contact result. This can have a chance to tie the game here. Let's see what happens. 5, champ on Berger. He is not a champion. So therefore, the Devil Rays keep the Marlins at bay with a pop-out to end the inning. After 4 innings of play, your score is Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins nothing. Four, 5, 6. Yes, 4, 5, 6. That is going to read pitcher not fresh. So again, I play it at, and if you've seen my past videos on this inaugural season, or in my past episodes, or excuse me, in my past videos on History Maker Baseball Express Hour, or History Maker Baseball Full Play, or History Maker Baseball Express, I should say, I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh, so that way everyone is on a neutral playing field. With that being said, we ask again, 4, 5, 6. Pitcher not fresh, and again, Alcantara is semi-fresh. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. And it looks like Davey Martinez is a neutral runner. So therefore, that 5 is going to stay put in the runners on its second and third for John Flaherty off the men on base chart. We got a 55, batting team dissonant or pitching team harmony. And again, every team throughout this inaugural season is being treated as neutral. So we're not taking full advantage of who's harmonic or who's dissonant or harmonious. So therefore, that is going to be a single, and 2 runs are going to come across to score, as it's a bases clearing single for John Flaherty, and the Rays extend their lead. It's 3-0 over the Fish from Miami. And we continue to roll on the men on base chart. With a 15, Scrapper hits double. Kevin Stocker is the current batter. He is not a scrapper. Therefore, that one is going to be hit high, hit far, and it is gone for Kevin Stocker as he hits a two-run home run. That there was a runner on first. He hits a two-run shot, putting the Rays in front, 5-0 after 4.5 innings of play. Here at Lone Depot Park here in Miami, your score is the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins 0. And we do see the Marlins manager shake the hand of his starting pitcher. That'll be enough for him. We'll have the bullpen take care of things from here on out for Miami. And we will definitely see that. And we do see that bullpen going for the Fish out in deep left field, and we'll see who that new pitcher will be when we get to the top half of the sixth. But for right now, we head to the bottom of the fifth inning with the score: Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins 0. 235. That is going to read star pitcher on Araujo. He is a semi-star. However, the decider die says he's not. Let's see. Here we are. Sad sack batter on Brian De La Cruz. He is not a sad sack. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. And it looks like Araujo does have flash. So that 3 will be reduced to a 2. And we will place the runners on at second base for Jesus Sanchez off the men on base chart. 45. Fresh pitcher gets the ground out. We're in the semi-freshest innings. Araujo is semi-fresh. The decider die says, the decider die says he is fresh. So therefore, Ronaldo Araujo will get the ground out to keep the Marlins at bay. The score after 5 complete innings is Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins 0. And we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the bullpen for the Miami Marlins, and we will see who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And it looks like the Miami Marlins manager has chosen Andrew Nardi to be the relief bullpen hero for this for Game 1 of this Cross Era Showdown series between the Rays and the Marlins. As Nardi has ace, double flash, and semi-control, but for this at-bat against Miguel Cairo, he will have the full extent use of getting the full ace quality. With that being said, we head to the sixth. We begin resume play here in the top half of the sixth with the score: Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins 0. Let's see here. We have a 2-3-3. That is going to read, here we are, ace pitcher. And again, Nardi normally would be a semi-ace, and he would not have, but for this at-bat against Miguel Cairo, he is an ace. So therefore, it'll be a no-runs result of a 2 blank, and that is going to do it for the top half of the sixth. And your score remains 5-0 in favor of the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. 156. Ace pitcher on Araujo. He's not. Sad sack batter on Stallings. He's a semi-sad sack. The decider die says he's not. 156. Here we are. Men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash, will be the result. And Araujo does have flash. So that 1 will be reduced to a 5, that 1 will be reduced to a big fat goose egg, and it will be a no runs result of just want to make sure the decider die was not used. So 156, ace, no, sad sack, semi. Okay, so it was asked for the sad sack, And yes, the decider die was used, so therefore it'll be a no runs result of a 5 dot. And that is going to do it for the first 6 innings of play. Arrojo did his job really well. He is going to stay in the. His manager is giving him some props and credits as he will be allowed to continue in this ball game, posting no runs so far through 6 innings of play. We go to the 7th inning with the score: Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins nothing. (114) Struggler on Nardi. He's not a struggler. Champ, excuse me, Champ on Randy Wynn. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that is going to take us right to the stretch as the fine folks sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" along with a rousing rendition of "God Bless America" as Ronaldo Araujo trots his way back out to the mound, and we will have the bottom half of the 7th inning for you in just a little bit. With the score: Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins nothing. And the fine folks here at Lone Depot Park, no matter how much fans there are here at the ballpark, have sang a good rousing rendition of "God Bless America" along with "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," as we see the score of Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins nothing as we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning for Joey Wendell's turn up at the dish. 145. Ace or dynamic? So far, Araujo is pitching like an ace, but unfortunately, he is not. Sat sack on Wendell. He's a semi-sat sack. The decider die says he is. Wow. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 7 innings of this ball game. Your score remains 5-0 in favor of the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. 346. That is going to be pitcher not fresh. Well, again, Nardi is the bullpen hero pitcher, so therefore he is considered fresh for the remainder of the game. Is McCracken a hero batter? He is a semi-hero. The decider die says he is. Yes, he is. Sorry, the decider die was not used, so yes, he is a hero. So therefore, it'll be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. And it looks like McCracken is is a neutral runner. So therefore, the bases are loaded full of Devil Rays for Wade Boggs to hit off the men on base chart. This could get ugly in a hurry, folks. 44. Wild pitcher allows the walk. Nardi is not wild, so therefore that is going to be a flyout, and Nardi escapes the bases loaded jam here in the top half of the 8th, and the score remains Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins nothing. 566. Star pitcher on Araujo. He's a semi-star. The decider die says he's not. Utility on Soler. He's a semi-utility. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with the possibility of a solo home run. Oh, Jorge Soler has home run king. The decider die, the black die is not a 6, which means it could be on any die number, but 6 relies on slugger. So therefore, Miami gets on the board, ending the day for Ronaldo Araujo as Jorge Soler deposits one into the cheap seats in the second deck in right field. Apo Taco, it's Tampa Bay Devil Rays 5 and the Miami Marlins 1. And we do see the manager for the Rays shake the hand of Araujo and he did a fine, well job today, despite giving up the home run to Jorge Soler. We go to the ninth inning with the score 5-1 in favor of the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. 1-4-6 on Eve. I just want to make sure here. Quentin McCracken, yes. Boggs. Yes, I think Boggs did bad, but let me just make sure that is correct. So timeout. And after further review of the footage, yes, Wade Boggs did bat, so we are on Fred McGriff, and we will keep this roll of a 1-4-6. And it reads, Ace or Dynamic on Nardi. He is a semi-ace. The decider dice says he's not. 1-4-6. Sad sack on McGriff. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Andrew Nardi does have semi-control. The decider die was used, and it reads, no, he does not have control. So therefore, that's going to be putting McGriff on at first base. For Paul Sorrento, the designated hitter for this game, and we will roll for his at-bat off the men on base chart. With a 13, fresh relief pitcher gets the pop-out. Since Nardi is a relief pitcher, he will get the pop-out. And the score will remain 5-1 in favor of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And we do see a new pitcher coming in from the pen for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And we will see who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And it seems the Tampa Bay Devil Rays will go to Albie Lopez for this at-bat against Luis Arraez to put an end to Game 1 and seal up the deal. And for this at-bat against Arraez, Lopez will have the full extent use of getting the ace quality since he was warming up in the bullpen a few short innings ago. With that being said, we are on to the bottom of the ninth. Can Miami try to walk things off to spoil the party? Let's find out. It's Devil Rays 5 and the Marlins 1. 1-2-6. Struggler or gilded on Lopez. He is not. Hero batter on Arraez. Oh, he is a hero batter. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment, and it looks like Arraez is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die was not used. Oh, and he is. So that one is going to be reduced, and that is going to be your ball game, folks. It'll be a no-runs result of a 6 blank. Man, oh man, it's Marlins batting. But that is going to seal up the deal for Game 1 as the Devil Rays hang on to beat the Miami Marlins by the final score of 5-1. We're just about sitting ready to go for Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown between the 2023 Miami Marlins and the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Your starting pitching matchup for Game 2 is going to look as follows. Wilson Alvarez will go for Tampa Bay as he is currently finishing up his warm-up tosses. And, excuse me, he will be opposed by Braxton Garrett for Miami. With that being said, Josh Bell is going to be your leadoff hitter for Miami. And without further delay, Alvarez is all set and ready to go, and so are we. Let's get rolling for Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown between the Miami Marlins and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. We'll begin game two with a 5-5-6. That is going to be star pitcher on Alvarez. No. Hero batter on Bell. No. Therefore, that is going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Josh Bell has semi-home run king. However, the decider die says he is not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 5-dot, and that is going to smell the end of the inning. And after a half inning of play, it's Marlins nothing, and the Devil Rays are coming up in the bottom half of the first inning. Two, 4, 5. Here we are. Struggler on Garrett. He's not. Sad sack on Martinez. He is not. That's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. Look at this. Braxton Garrett has flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 4. And also, Garrett has double control, so that 4 will go down to a 2. And therefore, that'll put the runner on its second base for John Flaherty to bat off the men on base chart for Tampa Bay here in the bottom half of the first inning. And we got a 34. Slugger hits double. Flaherty does not have slugger, so therefore that is going to be a single. A run is going to come across to score as the Tampa Bay Devil Rays lead early once again. But this time here in the first inning, it's Devil Rays 1 and the Marlins nothing after 1 inning of play. Three, 4. Star pitcher on Alvarez. He is not. Utility batter on Chisholm. He is not. That's going to be a men on base result, -1 for the black die if control. And it looks like Alvarez does not have control. So that 3 is going to stay put. So I think they're going to go big or go home here. It's early, but they're going to put Chisholm on at third base for Jake Berger to hit off the men on base chart. 36. Active batter gets runners advance 2 bases single plus a stolen base. Unfortunately, Jake Berger is not an active runner. So therefore, that is going to be a contact result. And I usually roll the red die for my contact chart results. And we got a 6. Oh, and it's going to be a ground out. Man, oh man. So the Miami Marlins threatened, but did not score in their half of the second. So we'll have to see what happens when the Rays get to their half of the second. It's 1-0 in favor of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Three, 5, 5. Yes, 3-5-5. Star pitcher on Garrett. He is a semi-star. The decider die says he is not. Champ on Stalker. He is not a champion. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 3. And the decider die was used to check if Garrett was a star. And yes, it was. So it'll be a no runs result of a 5-dot, and that is going to do it for the the first 2 innings of game 2 for this episode of Cross Era Showdown, as the Devil Rays are hanging on to a slim 1-0 lead over the Miami Marlins. 1, 2, 3. Workman or struggler. Alvarez is a workman pitcher, so therefore that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. De La Cruz is a semi-stoic runner, and the decider die says he is. So that 2 is going to be reduced to a 1. So somehow, some way, he laced a base hit back up the middle and into center, which was enough for the center fielder to corral to keep De La Cruz at at first base, enough for a single, and that is going to bring up Jesus Sanchez off the men on base chart. 26. Home run king, it's home run. Unfortunately, Jesus Sanchez is not a home run king. So therefore, it's going to be another contact result. And again, the red die is needed here. And we have a 4. Champ or hero? Jesus Sanchez is not a champ, neither is he a hero. So therefore, the Devil Rays get out of the inning, turning the ground out into possibly a double play. So what a way to keep the 1-0 lead if you are Tampa Bay, and the score after 2.5 innings of play is Tampa Bay 1 and Miami 0. 446. That is going to read star pitcher on Garrett. He's a semi-star. The decider die says he is not. Hero batter on Aaron Ledesma. He's a semi-hero. The decider die says he's not. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Aaron Ledesma does not have home run king. Neither does he have slugger. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that is going to do it for the first 3 innings of game 2 with your score: Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins 0. 146. Acer dynamic on Alvarez. No. Sad sack on Stallings. He's a semi-sad sack. The decider die says he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Alvarez does not have control. So therefore, that is going to be putting runners at the corners for John Birdie, who is replacing Joey Wendell in the lineup here for game 2, as the Miami Marlins are looking to get some some power hitting going here, as they are down 1-0 in the series and 1-0 here in game 2 as we head to the men on base chart. With a 25, iron fielder commits the error. Mike Kelly is the left fielder for this game. He is not iron, so therefore that is going to be a ground out to end things here. So they're going to go home, get the runner that was on third at home, and they will nab Birdie at first base for a 5-2-3 double play to keep this game at a 1-0 lead after 3.5 innings of play in favor of the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays. 356. Workman on Garrett. He's not. Champ on McCracken. He is not. Let's here. 356. Workman, no. Champ, no. Yeah, so no runs. It'll be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. McCracken does not have home run king or slugger qualities. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 356. Workman, no. Champ, no. So yeah, the decider die was not used. So it'll be a no runs result of a 6 dot, and that is going to be it for the first 4 innings of game 2 here for this episode of Cross Era Showdown, with your score: Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins 0. 134. Ace pitcher on Alvarez. So far, the pitchers for Tampa Bay has been pitching really good here in this series. But again, Alvarez is not an ace. Do we have a champ on Jorge Soler? We do not. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 4 dot. And that is going to smell the end of the inning for the Miami Marlins here in the 5th inning. Your score after 4.5 innings of play is the Devil Rays 1 and the Marlins nothing. One three six. Ace pitcher on Garrett. He's not. Hero batter on Boggs. He's the DH for this game, and he is a semi-hero. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that is going to end up being a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Boggs is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says he is. Oh my goodness. So therefore, that one will be reduced to a big fat goose egg, and it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot, and that is going to do it for the first 5 innings here at the Trop. Your score is Tampa Bay 1 and Miami nothing. This will be both pitchers' last inning here, and we'll begin the top half of the 6th with a 3-4-6. Pitcher now fresh, and again, I play it as 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. So in this case, we're in the semi-freshness innings, and it looks like Alvarez is not fresh. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. Yes, men on base result with a base running adjustment. Luis Ariz is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says, oh, he's not. This is Miami's chance to get a big number posted on the board. As we do see that bullpen going, Tampa Bay is going to stick with Alvarez here on to face Josh Bell off the men on base chart with a 16. Yes, 16. Good eye. No, Bell does not have a good eye. Wow, what a way to get out of the bases loaded jam, as it will be a strikeout, and that will be the end of the day for Wilson Alvarez as the Devil Rays take a 1-0 lead into the bottom half of the inning here at the Trop for Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. We have now a 2-2-4 ace pitcher on Garrett. He's not. Utility on McGriff. He is not. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. And it looks like Garrett has double control. And man, oh man. No runs in the top half. Follows up with a no runs inning in the bottom half. So therefore, that is going to be a 4 dot. 2-2-4 ace. No. Yes, the decider die was not used. So therefore, Garrett has double control, so that 2 will be reduced to a 0, and it will be a no runs result of a 4 dot, and that is going to do it for the first 6 innings of this ball game here at the Trop with your score: the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins nothing. Timeout. And it seems we are back as we are getting ready to begin the top half of the 7th inning, as we have a new pitcher for Tampa Bay, and that will be Rick White, as he has semi-star, semi-flash, and semi-control. And again, he was warming up in the bullpen during the last half innings or so. And again, we don't want to push it for, even though the starter Alvarez was working on a shutout. The Tampa Bay manager did not want to take that risk. So therefore, will this be a good strategy for him? Let's find out, as Rick White will get the full extent use of the star quality for this at-bat against Jazz Chisholm Jr. We begin the top half of the 7th with the score: Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins nothing. 1-2-4, Workman or ace pitcher. No, Rick White is not an ace. Champ on Chisholm. He is not a champion and that is going to do it with a no runs result of a 1 dot for 1 dot for flash and a 1 dot for control. And man, oh man, the Miami Marlins are really have dug themselves 6 feet, maybe way past 6 feet under here in the seventh inning, as the Rays still lead it 1-0 over their rivals in the Miami Marlins as we head to the stretch and the bottom half of the seventh inning here at the Trop. One, 2-5 on Bob Smith. 1-2-5. Here we are. Pitcher not fresh, and again, Miami is sticking with Braxton Garrett. Let's see here. 1-2-5. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're past the semi-freshness innings, so therefore, Garrett is not fresh. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Bob Smith is a neutral runner, so therefore, that one is going to stay put, and he will be on first base for Davey Martinez off the men on base chart. We have a 24. Gold fielder makes the out. Jake Berger is not a gold fielder, so therefore, that is going to be an error on the third baseman, and that is going to advance the runners 90 feet for John Flaherty. So credit Berger with an error, and the runner, Smith, will be going to second, and Martinez will be at first base via the error. 25. Iron fielder commits the error. De La Cruz is not an iron fielder, so therefore, that is going to be a ground out, and that is going to do it for the day for Braxton Garrett. Yep, and that's going to be the end of the day for Braxton Garrett here in the bottom half of the seventh, as we do see the Miami Marlins manager shake the hand of his starting pitcher on a job well done, and we will have the bullpens take care of things here from here on out with your score: Devil Rays 1 and the Marlins 0. 4-4-5. Workman on White. He's not a workman. 4-4-5. Hero batter on Sanchez. He's not a hero batter. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 4 blank, and that will do it for the top half of the top half of the eighth. Your score, as we see a new pitcher trotting in from the bullpen for the Miami Marlins, it's Devil Rays 1 and the Marlins 0. Timeout. And it looks like Steven Okerd will be the new pitcher for Miami, as he has the semi-workman, double flash, and semi-control qualities. With that being said, for this at-bat against Kevin Stocker, he will get the full extent, the quality of, he will get the full extent use of having the semi-star quality. So that is going to be huge for Miami. See if they can get Kevin Stocker out here in the top half of the eighth. Keep this game at a 1-0 lead for the at a 1-0 deficit heading to the top half of the ninth. And again, the score is Devil Rays 1 and Miami Marlins 0. 1-1-4. Struggler on Okert. No. Champ on Stocker. No. Wow, nice going, as that will be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that is going to do it for the first 8 innings of play. We go to the 9th inning. Last call for Miami. Your score is Tampa Bay 1 and Miami 0. 2-3-6. Struggler or gilded on Rick White. He is not. 2-3-6. Here we are. Sad sack on Stallings. He's a semi-sad sack. The decider die says yes, he is. However, there's a possibility of a solo home run followed by a no runs result, and it looks like Jacob Stallings does not have slugger or home run king printed out on his card. That is going to be the ball game, folks. The score as it will be a no runs result of a 6 dot. Let me just make sure. 236. Struggler, no. Stat sack, semi decided. Yes, to check the it was used to check the stat sack for stallings. So it'll be a no runs result of a 6 dot for flash and a dot for control. And that is going to be the ball game, folks. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays hang on to win this tight, tight pitching duel here in Game 2 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown as they look ahead to Game 3 and go for the sweep back at Lone Depot Park as we have come to the conclusion of Game 2, and the final score is going to be Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins nothing. Will it be a sweep for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays of 1998? Or will Miami find a way to salvage Game 3 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown? As we will find out right now. Your starting pitching matchup is going to be Jesus Luzardo for Miami, as he will be opposed by Brian Ricker for Tampa Bay. Everyone is keeping the same lineups as from Game 2. And without further delay, Jesus Luzardo has finished his warm-up tosses. And without further delay, Ledesma is stepping up to the plate. Let's begin Game 3 and find out, will the Tampa Bay Devil Rays complete the sweep of the Miami Marlins here for this episode of Cross Era Showdown. We'll begin Game 3 with a 1-4-5. Ace or dynamic pitcher. Luzardo is not an ace. Is Ledesma a sat sack batter? He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Yes, only flash. And yes, Jesus Luzardo does have flash. So therefore, that 4 will be reduced to a 3. We'll safely put the runners on at first and second for Mike Kelly to bat off the men on base chart. We got a 34. Slugger hits double. Mike Kelly is not a slugger, so therefore that is going to be a single. A run is going to come across to score, and again the Rays take advantage. 34. Yes, I'm sorry. He's not a slugger, so yes, it'll be a single. A run will come across to score. The runner on second comes home. The runner on first goes to third, and that is going to do it for the top half of the first. The Devil Rays take advantage of scoring first here in every game of this series, as after a half inning of play, it's the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1, and the Miami Marlins are coming to bat in their half of the first inning. 1-2-4. Ace pitcher on Wrecker. He's not. 1-2-4. Here we are. Champ on Birdie. He's not a champion. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 2 dot, and that is going to do it for this first inning of play with the score Tampa Bay Devil Rays 1 and the Miami Marlins nothing. 2-4-4. Let's see here. Here we are. Ace pitcher on Luzardo. He's not. Utility on McCracken. He is not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if control. Luzardo has semi-control. The decider die says he does. So therefore, that is going to put the 4 down to a 3. And again, we'll place the runners at first and second just like they did in the first inning. They do the same again here in the second, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter for this game, Wade Boggs. And he will take his hacks off the men on base chart with a 25. Iron fielder commits the error. Garrett Cooper is the first baseman for this game, and unfortunately, he's not an iron. So therefore, that is going to be a ground out to end the top half of the second here at Lone Depot Park, and your score remains 1-0 in favor of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. 3-4-6. Pitcher not fresh. Well, again, we're in the full fresh innings, and again, I play it as 3 full fresh and 3 semi-fresh. So therefore, we ask: is Luis Arraez a hero batter? He is a hero. So therefore, that's going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Arraez is a semi-stoic runner. The decider die says he is. So that 6 will be reduced to a 5, putting the runners on at second and third for Yuli Gurriel, the designated hitter for this game. 35, control pitcher. Record does have control, so therefore that'll be a ground out to end things here in the second inning here at Lone Depot Park. The score is Devil Rays 1 and the Marlins 0. 3-5-6. Let's see here. Workman pitcher on Luzardo. He's not. 3-5-6. Here we are. Champion batter on McGriff. He is not. So therefore, that'll be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. The black die is a 6. Fred McGriff has slugger. That one is going to hit high. It is far. And it is gone. Fred McGriff hits a solo home run, and to give the Devil Rays a 2-0 lead here in the top half of the third. And that is going to be all of their runs here in this inning. So after 2.5 innings of play, your score is Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2 and the Miami Marlins 0. 3-4-4. Workman on Wrecker. He is a workman. Yes, Wrecker is a workman. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result with a base running adjustment. Chisholm is a semi-active runner, and the decider die is not been used so far here for this inning, or for this half inning. So yes, sir, Chisholm is active. So that 4 will be increased to a 5. And we'll place the runners at second and third for Gene Segura on the third baseman for this ball game. And he will take his hacks off the men on base chart. Oh boy, a 66. Scrapper hits single. Oh, Gene Segura is a semi-scrapper. The decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is going to be a single. A run is going to come across to score. It'll be first and third, and the Marlins do get on the board. It's 2-1 in favor of the Devil Rays, and that will bring up Brian De La Cruz off the men on base chart. 56. Patient draws the walk. Unfortunately, Brian De La Cruz is not a patient batter, so therefore it will be a contact result, and I usually roll the red die from my contact chart results. It's a 4, champ or hero. Brian De La Cruz is neither. So therefore, that is going to be a ground out to end the first 3 innings of this one here at Lone Depot Park. The score could have been much worse, folks. But the Devil Rays hang on to a one-run deficit, or excuse me, a 1-run lead, I should say, with the Devil Rays leading it over the Miami Marlins 2-1 as we head to the 4th inning here at Lone Depot Park. 233. Ace pitcher on Luzardo. He's not. 233. Here we are. Champ on Smith. He's not a champ. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result. That is huge. So that will be a no runs result of a 3 blank. And that is going to do it for the top half of the fourth. We go to the bottom half of the inning with the score Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2 and the Miami Marlins 1. 156. Ace pitcher on Wrecker. He's not. Sad sack on Sanchez. No. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash. Wrecker has semi-flash. The decider die says yes. Ace no. 156. Ace no. Sad sack no. So yes, the decider die was not used, so -1 for the black die at flash. Wrecker has semi-flash. The decider die says he does. So therefore, that one will be reduced to a big fat goose egg, keeping the score Devil Rays 2, Marlins 1, with a no runs result of a 5 blank, and that will do it for the first 4 innings of Game 3 here in this episode of Cross Era Showdown. With your score as we head to the 5th is Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2 and the Miami Marlins 1. .256. Workman on Luzardo. He is not. Sad sack on Martinez. He is not. So therefore, that is going to end up being a men on base result, -1 for the black die if flash. Luzardo does have flash, so that 5 will be reduced to a 4. Runners at the corners for John Flaherty off the men on base chart. We have a 56. Patient batter draws the walk. Flaherty is not patient, so therefore that is going to be a contact result. And the red die is going to be used once more. We have a 2. Sad sack. Flaherty is a semi-sad sack. The decider die says he is. So therefore, that is going to be a ground out to end the top half of the 5th, keeping the score here. In order for the Miami Marlins to come back and stay off the sweep, the score is Devil Rays 2 and the Marlins 1. .226. Ace pitcher on Wrecker. No. Utility on Fortes. He is a utility batter, so therefore that's going to be a no runs result with a possibility of a solo home run. Nick Fortes does not have home run king or slugger qualities, so therefore that is going to be a no runs result of a 6 blank, and that'll do it for the first 5 innings here at Lone Depot Park. The score is Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2 and the Miami Marlins 1. .134. Is Luzardo an ace pitcher? So far, he's pitching like one since, we'll say he's semi, but unfortunately, he's not. Champ on Stalker. He's not a champ. So therefore, that is going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot, and that will do it for the top half of the 6th. The score is still Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2 and the Miami Marlins 1. .245. Struggler on Wrecker. He's not. Sad sack on Birdie. He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base. Yes, men on base result. -1 for the black die if flash or control. And again, when I'm saying the black die, it's the white number on screen. So therefore, Wrecker has control. So that 5 will be reduced to a 4. But however, the decider die says no to flash. So therefore, that 5 will be reduced to a 4, putting runners at the corners for Garrett Cooper off the men on base chart. We have a 55. Batting team dissonant or pitching team harmonious. Unfortunately, for this inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, like I mentioned earlier on in this episode, and again, I will keep repeating it throughout the entire season, we are not taking full advantage of one team getting dissonant and the other team getting harmonious, or maybe both teams do. But so again, both teams are treated as neutral as being played out on a neutral playing field. So therefore, that is going to be a single. The game is tied up, and it will be first and third once more. The game is tied up at 2 for Luis Ariz. 15. Oh my goodness. Scrapper hits Scrapper hits a single. Ariz is not a scrapper. The Miami Marlins are going to take a 5-2 lead as Luis Ariz hits one high, hits one far, and it is gone. Luis Ariz gives the Miami Marlins a 5-2 lead off of a 3-run home run. And my goodness, folks, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays fans here at Lone Depot Park are in shock as they see their team blow a 2-1 lead and somehow given the Miami Marlins some breathing light, some room to breathe here in Game 3 to stay off of the sweep. As we head to the 7th inning, your score is Marlins 5 and the Devil Rays 2. Luzardo will be back out there to pitch his final inning here with a 1-4-5. Acer dynamic on Luzardo. He is not. Do we have a Satsack batter on Ledesma? He does not have Satsack, so therefore that is going to be a men on base result. -1 for the black die if Flash. Luzardo does have Flash. Again, it'll be runners at the corners for Mike Kelly off the men on base chart. We got a 23. Eager grounds out. Mike Kelly is a semi-eager. The decider die says he's not. Uh-oh. That is going to load up the bases for Quentin McCracken off the men on base chart. We do see that bullpen going for Miami just in case. We have a 25. Iron Fielder commits the error. We are on Yuli Gurriel. He is the DH. So unfortunately, he is not. So therefore, that is going to be a ground out to end things here. And my goodness, folks, Miami gets out of a bases loaded jam as we head to the stretch here at Lone Depot Park. And we do see a new pitcher for Tampa Bay trotting in from the pen, and we will find out who that is while the fine patrons here at Lone Depot sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," along with a rousing rendition of "God Bless America." And again, we will have the new pitcher for you. And while the new pitcher takes his warm-up tosses, we will take this quick timeout. And we do see the closer for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays out on the mound. Roberto Hernandez will be the new pitcher for the Devil Rays to hopefully keep this at a 5-2 ball game for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays to hopefully come back in this one to get the sweep for this episode of Cross Era Showdown. Roberto Hernandez has Flash. Has the flash quality for this for his outing here for this for Game 3, and since he was warming up in the bullpen, we will give him the semi-ace quality for this at bat against Jazz Chisholm. We'll be starting to resume play here in the bottom half of the 7th with your score: Miami Marlins 5 and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2. 236. Struggler or gilded on Hernandez? He is not. Stat sack on Chisholm? No. So therefore, that is going to be a men on base. Excuse me. That'll be an RBI question mark check, and it looks like, oh my word, it's not a safe situation, folks. Unfortunate to be hold there. So therefore, the Miami Marlins are going to get a run as the decider die says yes. And it's now 6-1, courtesy of Jazz Chisholm off of the RBI chance with your, and we go to the, and we're finished here for the first 7 innings of this one. Your score is 6-2 in favor of the 2023 Miami Marlins. We're about to begin the top half of the 8th as we do see a new pitcher was trotting in from the bullpen as we went to a quick timeout break. And we have Tanner Scott on the mound for the Miami Marlins as he has semi-ace, double flash, and semi-control qualities. Scott will have the full extent use of getting the full ace quality for this at-bat against Wade Boggs, the designated hitter, for Game 3 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown. We resume play here in the 8th inning with your score, the 2023 Miami Marlins 6 and the 1998 Tampa Bay Devil Rays 2. 336. Workman on Scott. He's not. Satsack on Boggs. No. So therefore, that's going to be an RBI question mark check. The black die is not a 6. So therefore, the and however the decider die says yes, there is an RBI. So Boggs all of a sudden cuts the lead in half. It's 6-3 now. It's still in favor of the Marlins as we move on to the bottom half of the 8th with the score 6-3 in favor of the 2023 Miami Marlins. 155. Ace pitcher on Hernandez. No. Hero batter on Segura. No. So therefore, that's going to be a no runs result of a 1 dot. And man, oh man, folks, it is going to be coming down to this. Last call for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays to hopefully come back in this one. Your score is Miami 6 and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 3. Triple sixes. Oh my goodness. Bad timing. That is going to be an injury check, and this ball game will be over. It will be a no runs result of a 6 dot. And man, oh man, let's see who got hurt here. We'll use the red die. 6, replace current fielder. So anyway, series is over. The final score is going to be Miami Marlins 6 and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays 3. The Marlins find a way to stay off of a sweep, and therefore the Tampa Bay Devil Rays will win this series 2-1, but the Miami Marlins stay off the sweep as they take and salvage Game 3 of this episode of Cross Era Showdown by the final score of 6-3. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode of Cross Era Showdown as we highlighted a surprise playoff team in the 2023 Miami Marlins against the 1998 early expansion struggles in the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Well, it seems we've run out of time for today, but never fear. Let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And we're going to be venturing from sunny Florida to the lovely city to the lovely state of Ohio, as we are going to feature yet another crosstown rival that I really wanted to add on. For the for this past rivalry week. Well, I hope you're going to enjoy a little bit of rivalry weekend this weekend, because the action is going to continue on Monday as we have another installment of Rivalry Night when we have the 2024 Cleveland Guardians taking on the 2024 Cincinnati Reds. Who will come out on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour that was being played with History Maker Baseball Express. We look forward to bringing you more matchups of Rivalry Night, World Series Rewind, Cross Era Showdown, and a blast from the past as we revisit some classic and memorable games from Major League Baseball throughout the 2026 Major League Baseball regular season.